trapped in the grip of alcohol. The first thing Paul feels upon waking is the pounding in his skull. A dull, relentless throb. The weight of last night pressing down on him like a cinder block. His mouth is dry, his hands trembling. The sunlight filtering through the blinds is too bright, too harsh. Paul doesn't check the time. What's the point? Morning, afternoon, it all blends together. The only thought that matters is fixing the way he feels. A sip of something. Just enough to steady the hands. Just enough to stop the nausea. He knows it's a problem. He's told himself that today would be different. But the bottle's right there. The cycle begins again. Paul should eat something, but food doesn't interest him the way it used to. Instead, he focuses on making sure he has enough to get him through the rest of the day. That half-empty bottle from last night won't last, and the idea of running out is terrifying. So a trip to the store it is. Paul tells himself he'll act normal. The cashier won't notice that he's back again. Nobody's going to pick up on his breath, reeking of last night's decisions. He might buy something else, a loaf of bread, pack of gum, just to make it look like alcohol was the afterthought. But they both know the truth. You know, Paul had plans once, dreams, but those feel like a lifetime ago. Tonight, like every night, is just about one thing. Keeping the buzz going without tipping over into oblivion. He tells himself he'll just have one drink, one to take the edge off, one to feel normal. But one turns into three, and three turns into a blur. The regrets creep in between sips, but he drowns them out before they have a chance to take hold. His phone buzzes. A missed call. A text from someone he used to be close to. He ignores it. Conversations mean explanations, and explanations mean shame. It's easier just to be alone. He doesn't remember getting to bed. Maybe he passed out on the couch. Maybe he didn't even make it that far. But tomorrow will be different, right? Paul closes his eyes, knowing full well that when he wakes up, the cycle will begin again. A new day in the life of Paul, committed to growth, positivity, and purpose. Paul's alarm hums softly, a signal that the day is waiting for him. He stretches, feeling gratitude for the simple gift of waking up. Before reaching for his phone, he takes a deep breath and sets his intention. Today, I will move with purpose. Today, I will grow. He drinks a glass of water, takes a few moments of stillness. Maybe he meditates. Maybe he journals. Whatever the morning calls for. He writes down 3 things that he's grateful for. Not out of habit, but because gratitude is a muscle, and he's trained it well. Then he moves. Maybe a run, a weightlifting class, yoga, maybe just a short walk in the crisp morning air. Not out of appearance or obligation, but because his body is a vessel and he wants it to be strong. The work Paul does is more than just a job. It's a part of his purpose. Whether he's leading a team, creating, learning, or teaching, he approaches it with focus and intention. Even on those difficult days, he sees challenge as opportunities. He takes breaks to reset, a short breathing exercise here and there, an occasional step outside to feel the sun on his face. He doesn't just power through the day on autopilot. He engages with it. If something stresses him out, he doesn't let it consume him. He acknowledges it, reframes it, and moves forward. Now, lunch isn't just an afterthought for Paul, it is fuel. He nourishes his body the way he nourishes his mind, with things that help him feel strong and energized. Paul spends time with people who inspire and uplift him. A deep conversation with a friend, a meaningful text exchange, some quality time with his family. Connection isn't something he takes for granted. If he has a personal project, he carves out time for that. Maybe he's learning a new skill, writing, creating, giving back to his community. Growth isn't a destination for him, it's a daily practice. And as the day winds down, Paul reflects not from a place of self judgment, but with curiosity. What did I learn today? How did I show up for myself and others? Before bed, he disconnects. No endless scrolling, no drowning in distractions. Maybe he reads something that expands his mind. Maybe he sits in silence, enjoying the peace of knowing he lived today with intention. As Paul lays down, he doesn't feel the weight of regret. He doesn't feel like life's just slipping through his fingers. He rests easy, knowing that today, like every day, was a step towards becoming the person he wants to be. Tomorrow, he will wake up and do it all over again. Not because he has to, but because he wants to. Now, what if I told you that ambitious Paul was alcoholic Paul 10 years ago? You see, after his wife died suddenly, he turned to alcohol and made some pretty poor life choices. He was medicating himself with alcohol until his DUI slapped him right in the face, and then he got serious about making some changes. 10 years ago, getting released from his jail sentence, he changed drastically. He swore sobriety and hasn't touched alcohol since that last cocktail he had before his DUI happened. So, is Paul still considered an alcoholic? I mean, being sober for over 10 years now, would Paul be labeled as someone who has a dependence on alcohol, either physically or psychologically or both? Would you characterize him with alcohol use disorder? That's someone who has a strong craving or compulsion to drink, someone who has an inability to control or stop drinking despite negative consequences, someone who's developed a tolerance requiring more to feel its effects. I mean, someone who's experiencing withdrawal symptoms when not drinking, someone who prioritizes alcohol over responsibilities, relationships, and health. Whether you see alcoholic Paul or ambitious Paul depends on your mindset. Do you have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? Well, welcome to Mars Venus Coaching. I am your gender intelligence coach, Clay Smith. And in today's episode, I want to distinguish between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. We're going to look at the cost of having a fixed mindset, both the personal cost and the relationship cost. Then we're going to explore the benefits of having a growth mindset, both the personal benefits and relationship benefits. Through providing a clear distinction of both mindsets, my goal is to inspire you to adopt a growth mindset. My intention behind this video is that you'll view yourself and others in your life through a growth mindset lens. You see, we're all in a state of impermanence. And if you're not growing, then you're in a state of decay. Sometimes we just need to completely reset. Reset our minds like powering down a system. Refresh, recharge, and reconnect with the latest versions of ourselves and those we're closest to. So let's begin to make those distinctions. What is a fixed mindset? By definition, it's the belief that abilities, intelligence, and talents are static and cannot be significantly changed or improved. People with a fixed mindset tend to think of themselves as either naturally good or bad at something. This limits their willingness to learn and grow. Once a cheater, always a cheater. People are defined by their mistakes, and once they adopt a certain label on themselves, there's little to no hope for change. Some key traits of a fixed mindset would be avoiding challenges for fear of failure, seeing effort as pointless if talent alone determines success, feeling threatened by others' success rather than inspired by it, taking criticism personally instead of using it for growth, giving up easily when faced with obstacles, and labeling others as who they used to be based off of past mistakes. So, having a growth mindset can come with some significant personal cost, affecting various aspects of your life, personal growth, relationships with others. Here are some key drawbacks. A fixed mindset limits personal growth and development. You may avoid challenges and miss opportunities to learn and improve. Sticking to what feels safe can lead to stagnation and unfulfilled potential. A fixed mindset creates fear of failure and low resilience. Mistakes feel like permanent flaws rather than just learning experiences. It might be easier to give up when faced with setbacks, leading to missed opportunities in life. A fixed mindset decreases motivation and effort. If you believe talent is fixed, you may feel, what's the point? Leading to a lack of drive, not wanting to push yourself, trying new things, stepping outside that comfort zone. A fixed mindset strains friendships. Difficulty handling constructive criticism or differing opinions. This can lead to blame and defensiveness instead of open communication and growth. Fixed mindsets struggle with accepting change, which is essential for healthy relationships. A fixed mindset increases stress and anxiety. It's that constant pressure to prove yourself rather than just enjoying the process of learning. The fear of making mistakes can lead to self doubt and perfectionism. A fixed mindset misses opportunities in your career. Avoiding taking risks can limit professional growth, promotions, new experiences. A reluctance to learn a new skill can lead to career stagnation. So let's talk about a fixed mindset and its cost on a relationship with a significant other. A fixed mindset creates difficulty in handling conflict, viewing disagreements as personal attacks instead of opportunities for growth, believing that the relationship issues mean incompatibility rather just than something to work through. A fixed mindset eliminates emotional growth and adaptability, struggling to accept that both partners evolve over time. This creates resistance to feedback, refusing to change harmful behaviors. A fixed mindset increases the fear of vulnerability, avoiding deep emotional conversations just out of a fear of being judged, holding back from expressing feelings from a belief that if we were meant to be, we wouldn't need to work on things. A fixed mindset fosters blame and defensiveness, blaming your partner for problems instead of looking for solutions together. We become defensive when receiving feedback instead of seeing it as a way to grow. A fixed mindset creates resentment and stagnation, feeling stuck in the same cycles because change is seen as either unlikely or impossible. This is going to build resentment over time due to unmet needs or a lack of effort to improve the relationship. Why try? He's always been doing it that way. They'll never change. And a fixed mindset struggles with forgiveness and letting go, holding on to past mistakes instead of learning and moving forward. Fixed mindsets view flaws as permanent rather than something that can improve. A fixed mindset increases risks of breakups and emotional distance, believing that if we were really truly meant to be, everything would be easy, instead of just recognizing that great relationships require effort, communication, and adaptability. What this boils down to is you get what you expect. When you choose to view yourself and others through a fixed mindset lens, you're going to train your reticular activating system in your brain to discount the possibilities for changes to occur. You're going to train your brain to look for those ways that you and others are unwilling to change. What you look for in life, you will find. Seeing that once your partner made a mistake in the past, they will always make that mistake in the future creates a disconnection between you and them. Seeing that there's no hope for your partner to change is a sign that you're viewing the relationship through a fixed mindset lens. So now let's take a look at the growth mindset. By definition, a growth mindset is the belief that abilities, intelligence, and talents can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. It's a belief that people can change. It contrasts with a fixed mindset where people believe that their abilities are static and unchangeable. This mindset, popularized by psychologist Carol Dweck, encourages continuous learning and adaptability, greater personal and professional success. Some key traits of a growth mindset would be embracing challenges as opportunities to learn, viewing failures as stepping stones for growth, believing efforts lead to improvements, persisting through obstacles instead of just giving up, being open to feedback and constructive criticism, and finally, believing that people can change. So here are some personal benefits for adopting a growth mindset. A growth mindset increases resilience and adaptability. It helps you bounce back from setbacks, seeing as failure as an opportunity to learn. This encourages problem solving and perseverance in the face of a challenge. A growth mindset fosters greater learning and skill development. It's going to promote continuous self-improvement by believing that abilities can be developed. It also encourages curiosity, lifelong learning, leading to personal growth and health. A growth mindset enhances motivation and productivity. This increases that drive to succeed since it's going to lead to a path of mastery. It also is going to reduce procrastination because challenges are viewed as opportunities and not threats. A growth mindset strengthens relationships and collaboration. This helps in accepting feedback, using it constructively. It's going to foster a supportive and open-minded approach to teamwork and leadership. A growth mindset provides better mutual mental well-being through lowering stress and anxiety from reducing the fear of failure. This will build self-confidence and optimism. It makes it easier to take risks. A growth mindset promotes success in career and personal life. By opening up doors to new opportunities, embracing challenges, learning from your mistakes, this is going to encourage innovation, creativity, push you past your comfort zone. Now, let's talk about some relationship benefits to a growth mindset. Having that growth mindset in relationships can lead to deeper connection, better communication, and long term success. So, here are some benefits. A growth mindset encourages open and honest communication. You're willing to listen and learn from each other. Conflict then becomes an opportunity for growth, not just an argument. A growth mindset strengthens emotional resilience. Challenges and disagreements are now seen as a chance to grow together. There's less fear of making mistakes because you know you can learn and improve as a couple. A growth mindset promotes mutual support and encouragement. You celebrate each other's growth rather than feeling threatened by it. Both partners can push each other to become the best version of themselves. A growth mindset fosters adaptability and flexibility. Change is embraced instead of resisted, allowing the relationship to evolve. You're open to new experiences, perspectives, keeping things fresh. A growth mindset reduces toxic patterns and blame. Instead of blaming each other for problems, you focus on solutions and understanding. You can see conflicts as an opportunity to learn rather than proof the relationship is doomed. A growth mindset increases long term relationship satisfaction. There's less pressure to be perfect because growth is the goal. This makes the relationship feel like a safe place where both partners can evolve without judgment. A growth mindset promotes forgiveness from those mistakes. Couples who embrace a growth mindset, they're likely to forgive their partner, letting go of the past, focusing more on achieving future goals and desired outcomes. So again, you get what you expect. When you choose to view yourself and others through a growth mindset lens, you're gonna look for those opportunities that things can grow and change and improve. You're gonna train that reticular activating system to see growth, to see behavior changes. And what you look for, you're gonna find. Now, don't be an idiot. Having a growth mindset doesn't necessarily mean that you just let someone trample over your boundaries time after time. There's a point in a relationship where you've given that person chance after chance and they have proven to themselves and to you they are unwilling to make permanent changes to save the relationship. For example, let's say they had an affair on you. They cheated, they lied, they completely broke your trust. They apologized, they made it clear to you that they would not do it again, only to find out they had another affair. Relationships are messy, aren't they? I mean, there's no hard and fast rule for giving that person another chance or not. There comes a fork in the road where you say, enough is enough. Cut your losses and walk away. You can have a growth mindset and set up clear boundaries with someone. You can have a growth mindset and communicate natural consequences for when poor choices are made. You can have a growth mindset and still decide to leave the relationship. If you're not growing, you're dying. The Buddhists have a law that's called the Law of Impermanence. It's a philosophy that says everything is in flux. Nothing is permanent. All things are subject to change. And suffering comes from attachment, holding on to the way things used to be. There's freedom through acceptance that things change. Accepting impermanence allows for peace, growth, less resistance to life's ups and downs. This concept is deeply tied to mindfulness and letting go. Instead of clinging to the past or the fear of the future, embracing impermanence can bring a sense of peace and presence in your relationship. So, a growth mindset means accepting that things will change. And a fixed mindset is holding on to the way things used to be, which is going to bring about more suffering. Again, if you're not in a state of growth, then by default, you are in a state of decay. So you've got to ask yourself, am I growing or dying? Just take a second and survey the people in your life. Who can you think of that is in a state of personal growth? I mean, who has goals that they're working towards? Maybe they're attending school, writing their book, building their business, getting their weight under control. Who do you see is challenging themselves from their personal growth in your social circle? Compare that person in your life to someone who is actively decaying. Whenever you talk to them, they're just caught up in the petty human bullshit of their survival. Only interested in that 9 to 5 job that they hate, complaining about anything and everything. Now, ask yourself, whose phone call do you want to take? Which person do you want to spend that time with? And which one would you avoid being with? So, as we've explored today, the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset, it isn't just about how we choose to see ourselves. It's about how we choose to see the world, our relationships, and our potential. A fixed mindset keeps us trapped in fear, doubt, and limitations, while a growth mindset opens the doors to learning, resilience, and endless possibilities. So I want to challenge you. Survey your own mind. Ask yourself, do I avoid challenges or do I embrace them? Do I fear failure or do I see it as a stepping stone to success? Do I believe that people, including myself, are capable of change and improvement? Or do I define them as the mistakes they've made in the past? Because your mindset shapes your reality. By choosing a growth mindset, you're not just empowering yourself, you're creating a world where potential is limitless. When you see the possibilities in others, you will uplift them. When you embrace learning, you inspire those around you. When you believe in change as possible, you open doors to success. So today I want to encourage you, choose growth. Choose optimism. Choose to see possibilities where others see limits. Because the moment you do, your life and the lives of those around you will change for the better. I highly recommend that you apply this mindset shift in your relationships. Now, if you'd like to book a complimentary clarity session with me for how we can gain further clarity on how to apply this mindset shift, feel free to click the link below and choose a time that works best for you. If you've received value from this video, I would appreciate you clicking that like button. And hey, if you have those people in your life that you know are experiencing a fixed mindset, send them the video. Do them a favor. If you've been implementing this tool in your relationships, I'd love to hear about your experiences in the comment section below. Let's stay connected by downloading the latest version of our partner. This means embracing a growth mindset in your relationships, allowing your perception of them to evolve instead of clinging to an outdated version of who they were. We're going to need to do this by regularly checking for those updates, releasing that past version of who they used to be, and occasionally going to have to reintroduce yourself to each other as both you and your partner are evolving towards continuous growth and transformation.